screen.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Let's see.
Try to shoot that during the week.
Everybody loves Reynolds. There are multiple different people in the acting world who do what Reynolds wants because they absolutely love him. I think one of the things that comes out of the movie, Patrick and Kyle and Jerry, is the absolute humility that Ryan Reynolds has. I think he's a humble guy. He's super powerful, has a lot of money, can open movies, has his own gin company, has his own mobile company, has all owns a soccer team that's doing gangbusters. The idea that the idea, what was that?
He owns stocks, nerd stocks.
3 movies in Vanessa never became copyright side, but I have small complaints. Major storyline and plot holes, but the fight scenes can work. But I will say, like out the Deadpool movies, the humor won't land in a few years. But I still enjoyed it. I didn't think it was going to change the MCU too much. Didn't really tread anything to new. We didn't touch and look with the TVA. That's what I mean. Like he can play on the outskirts of the MCU and still, again, like show up in Secret Wars. He can just walk in. Like
okay, but
what
okay,
if, like, just say he has something that along the lines of Jarvis, that every time he tries to curse, it bleeps it out on him or something to keep a PG-13 rating.
That would be funny.
Stop doing
that would be funny, right? But again, it's like, if that was what we're going to do with the movies, we're going to make them into a comedy. Are we going to make them into a Stan Lee?
Well, the Avengers movies' secret weapon has always been comedy. Like the Avengers movies, like you can't tell me that when the first Avengers hit, and Robert Downey Jr. walked into the room and called Thor Point Break, you can't tell me that didn't land. And also the joke and humor with like Loki and Thor like has always landed in the movies. You're the worst brother. Like it just so. I mean, I think one of the things.
Sorry, Cap. It could get real far.
Sorry, Cap. Yeah. Well, America's ass.
I mean, you're talking like a couple of zingers versus a whole
that's what
movie.
I mean. But I'm saying I think Deadpool in the MCU is
out of the movie. He's not the focal point in the MCU.
I don't think he's going
to be in and out of scenes. Yeah, he's just.
But I'll give you an example. If he showed up,
cameos, but.
Well, yeah,
ease them in. That's what you're saying. Ease them in before they all become rated R.
Yeah, very, very.
Ease them in.
Yes, Jerry. We want to change because the kids are going to get older, Jerry. It's just like the opposite. It's the opposite of what Disney used to do, which is we're going to release a movie every 7 years just for the next generation of kids. Now the kids are growing up. We need R-rated movies. Damn it. Let's see. Yeah, but Deadpool movies is nowhere like in the comic. That's a given. I think that's the other thing. I think this movie, with regards to everything that it does, and I don't know. I viewed it as a love letter. The idea that Reynolds allowed, called up the phone call. I'm going to tell you right now, at some point on the Deadpool Blu-ray release or 4K or whatever the way they're releasing it, I need the phone call that he made to Wesley Snipes. I need it. I need to hear it. I need to hear
that was the conversation last week that we did.
That was
I'll say this. If Deadpool and Wolverine jump starts Blade and they got a role for Wesley Snipes in it, then that's worth it to me.
What if I told you one of the jump starts out of this movie, Patrick? One of the jump starts out of this movie is that Wesley Snipes might get his own Blade movie to finish. The end of Blade. The end of Wesley Snipes as Blade, and then the Blade movie that they're doing the reboot with Mahershala Ali. It was a very soft rating R. They have very much that, but most of the sex shows, that's a few too many. Did have the violence and blood, but still soft R for Disney is all we're gonna get. I agree with that. I see you guys on live on YouTube on my phone. Thank you. Okay. Thanks, Joe. I wonder what's going on. Weird. I'm pretty sure Deadpool's been in the movies, dark comedy. Yeah, but I think on YouTube, there we go, with a wink and a smile. Deadpool was a beautiful send off for the Fox era. I think it was a beautiful send off for all the era, like because remember Blade wasn't Fox. Blade was New Line. So like I love the original, like I love the first two Blade movies, but Kyle, something we didn't discuss last week that must be discussed. Blade Trinity is an unholy clusterfuck of a movie. It's not
okay,
good.
Let me ask you a question.
Trinity or Dark Phoenix, which is worse?
How is that movie a clusterfuck of a movie, right? How is that movie a clusterfuck of the movie when it has Deadpool in it?
No, Blade Trinity.
That's what I'm talking about. Blade Trinity.
How
can that be a fucked up movie when it has Deadpool?
When it has Ryan Reynolds in it? Okay,
and Ryan Reynolds is doing Deadpool in that movie. That's the first movie he did. He did Deadpool in. Basically,
no, he's not Deadpool. He's one.
I know he's Cannibal King, but that his character is Deadpool. He's not any different. It's a one-note character.
Okay, so a couple things, Patrick. Couple things. When that movie was made, Wesley Snipes was a pretty big star, and he hated everyone on that set. He hated David Goyer.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
He hated Triple A. He got into a fight with Paul Levesque. He got into a fight with I can't think of her name.
Triple H for you non-wrestling fans.
Yeah, Paul Levesque. I say Paul Levesque because he actually is Paul Levesque in that movie. He got into a huge fight with Ryan Reynolds.
JW is a Paul Levesque guy.
Yeah, I am definitely a Paul Levesque.
Think about it. Do you think about that? Think about that for a second. He's gotten mad with Ryan Reynolds. He gotten mad with Triple H. I don't think he was totally mad at them on a personal level. I think
he was mad because the government wanted their money.
I think he was pissed off. I think he was pissed off with the direction of the story. It was too much of a bad joke. Blade Trinity is a poor Deadpool movie. It has the same problems as Deadpool does. And it's way too jokey, way too aware, way too wink, wink, wink. And it's just like, and nobody in the movie other than Wesley Snipes and Dominic Purcell gave a shit, and it shows. It really shows on the maybe Natasha Lyonne, but that's it. Everybody else, nobody.
I would also say Patton Oswalt, but that's just my opinion. Let's see. Boo for Raven says boo. I don't know what she's booing. Double watching my YouTube. Thank you, Raven. How dare you? OT gave me Triple H and Ron Reynolds. Laugh out loud. I could also say it was glorious seeing Roman Reigns back, and I'm not a Roman Reigns fan, but that was pretty sweet. Sorry, little wrestling talk. No way is Kane Deadpool. Like that's the thing. I think so. You're saying that I think Blade Trinity is just a bad movie because it doesn't work. It has nothing to do with. I don't think it has anything to do with the humor. It's not well developed. Bad villain.
And Deadpool Wolverine's not all that developed either. All it is just them seeing other characters from other movies or and just like it's a glorified cameo appearance. It's all it is. There's no solid story to it. They couldn't make one. They couldn't get a solid story to it because the damage had already been done for the first two Deadpool movies. Imagine being asked to write a serious action adventure movie. Remember, here's Hugh Jackman coming off Logan. Right, coming off Logan, that's a freaking serious ass movie. That movie has heart. Deadpool has zero heart. Has zero heart at all.
But there are moments in the movie, Kyle. I told you offline. I think my favorite part of the movie is the sequence at the campfire. Right, that's my personal favorite part of the movie, where Jackman and Daphne Keane get back together for that brief, rare moment. I told you my three audience pop moments are the Calverine, Hulk. Like that's probably one of my favorites. Just the idea, hey, you fought the Hulk in that outfit. Just great. But I understand what you're saying. I don't.
You like all the different variants of Wolverine over the years.
Speaking of
white jacket Wolverine with the eye patch.
And also just, we talked about how, like, I think it's interesting that, one of the problems that you have, Patrick, is that it's not serious, right? But
honestly, I found the first two films, quite honestly, for what it was. Seriously, it's almost like giving a middle finger to the fans. Really, the first two Deadpool movies are giving the finger to the fans. It's like, look, we're having fucking fun here, and we don't care what you say or do. And
but
you know,
but isn't that the basis?
Isn't the Merc with the mouth always just having fun with the fans and fucking with people?
Well, I like, you know, those some of us, you know, who like you look at the Russo brothers. Look what they did for Civil War and or what they did for Endgame, Infinity War. Yeah, that has some slight humor to it, but look how serious that movie was. Look how people were really moved by that film. Look at Logan. Logan
with the mouth.
Let's talk about the seriousness.
I had grown guys coming out of the theater and they're crying because of the fucking Logan. It's emotional. It's, you know,
look at these comic books.
All I want is a Wonder Twins movie.
All you want is
me too.
You want a live action Gleep. But look at these comic books.
Herculoids
want
movie.
a live action He-Man.
Dude, you know what? I'm still waiting for Alpha Flight.
Live action Thundercats, people. Get your shit straight.
I want Herculoids.
But I'm just saying, like, when you see the comics are serious, all of these comics are represented in the movie, right? All of these comics are represented in Deadpool and Wolverine. I have found it really interesting that you can just find these pictures and just put them all together, and it's exactly what you get out of the movie. Couple comments. Hold on. Then we got to do our regular segments because we've gone way overboard on Deadpool and Wolverine.
I'm still thinking about who you're going to get for Doctor Doom. I mean, you know, even Robert Downey, even when he came out there and they announced him as Doctor Doom, it was Iron Man. The only thing missing for him was saying, I am Iron Man.
I think the potential for Robert Downey Jr. to knock this out of the park, and also for the potential that and this is something I talked about with Bill Vasquez, who's a great friend of the program from Film Buff Online. He does not want Tony Stark being Doctor Doom. He wants Doctor Doom, right?
Yeah, me too.
So this goes back to last week with me saying I can't really talk about it because all of the jokes that Deadpool made about the multiverse and no one's done it right since The Wizard of Oz almost makes me think they're going to kind of steer away from trying to do more multiverse stuff and go back
the multiverse angle will end. The multiverse angle will end with Secret Wars.
So I don't think it's going to be Tony Stark as Doctor Doom. I'm not even sure we're going to see Doctor Doom without a mask on to know that it's Robert Downey Jr.
Well, I was talking to Bill Vasquez. Bill wrote a really interesting article about the announcement, and he is a very serious comic book person. And one of the things we talked about is that we're not looking at this. We're looking at this. The shock is too close, right? The shock is
the Kern's last comment.
The shock is too close. We're like, oh my God, how is this going to happen? But here's the thing. I think it could be structurally in the movie, and also I think Robert Downey Jr. is going to be great. I don't think Robert Downey Jr. comes back if the script isn't great, if the Russo brothers aren't going to come in and knock it out. I don't think he comes back and takes the chance of tainting Iron Man. I just don't. I just don't think he does. So, and then the other side of it is, and this is what I've been saying, it's going to be built in and baked in that if this version of Doctor Doom looks like Tony Stark, I can't help but imagine we're going to get scenes of Pepper seeing Tony, of Tom Holland seeing Tony, of all the characters reacting and then not realizing
that's not Doctor Doom. That's not. If you want to bring back the Doctor Doom, and you know, and this is how I even say bring back Julian McMahon. I mean, he was actually a pretty decent Doctor Doom, I thought. He just needed better dialogue. But I thought physically wise, he did a great job. And I don't see, honest to hell, I don't see why they, you know, I don't see. Look, the movie's going to sell regardless who plays Doom. So why not take it? Why not take your time and get the casting right? Why is there a hurry?
What if it is the right casting though? It
isn't.
Yeah,
it isn't.
Let's
It really isn't.
We need to face.
Marvel took a chance. Marvel took a chance on Robert Downey Jr. when he was at his absolute lowest. Right now, Marvel's stock is actually not the highest after the last couple of movies. And is this Robert Downey Jr. now turning around and saying thank you?
Yeah,
and helping them and giving them
again.
Something incredible.
I talked one of my friends who's in theater and in New York. He made the best argument I could have said that may ease your fears, Patrick. No matter what we think of Robert Downey Jr., he is never going to not do something that makes Robert Downey Jr. look good. And that, like, it's like you may not trust the directors, you may not trust Marvel right now, you may not. I trust Feige wholeheartedly, but you may not trust all of those things. But the one person I do trust right now with how his career is going is Robert Downey Jr. He's, he just won an Oscar. He's on, he didn't have to come back. And I just think there's something there where we're going to find out that it's bigger than we even imagine. Okay, a couple comments and then we'll. Patrick, are you a Snyderverse stan? You don't like Snyderverse, do you?
Oh yeah, I like Snyderverse. Yeah, I like it. Watchmen's my favorite superhero movie.
Watchmen's great, but it's not like Justice League. Not like.
I still have to see Snyder's first. The one Abrams did. Oh my god.
Justice League is so bad. But both of them, actually, they're both unwatchable. But anyway, that was my favorite part as a comic fan art, JW. Yes.
That's Robert Downey Jr. came in as Doom.
Kelly Leak was.
As a Canadian, I'm also hoping for Alpha Flight. Peter Dinklage is Puck. Peter Dinklage is already in the MCU.
I tell you what's really funny. Honest to God, you probably laugh at this, but think about it. If he was just, but maybe like another 4 or 5 inches, fucking Jackie Earl Haley would fucking crush it as Doom.
Maybe
he would crush it as Doom. He wouldn't mind wearing the mask.
My problem with Jackie Earl Haley is that he got a chance to create a new Freddy and he totally bought, like, that movie's awful. So
yeah, but he had nothing to do with that. He is Freddy. Yeah, he had no. That was not his fault at all. If you watch the rest of that, the new Nightmare, the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, he was the only thing about it that was any good. Everybody else sucked.
I don't know, Patrick. We're gonna have to leave this for that.
The whole thing was.
I still think we're gonna get Doom for the MCU after Secret Wars and they reboot. Dinklage is Puck for sure. Again, Raven. Again, Peter Dinklage is already in the MCU. He might not be able to be Puck. But of course, he might be.
Doom.
Oh, yeah, he was. Yeah,
how do you not have 2 roles when Robert Downey Jr. is playing 2 different roles?
Maybe he can be Puck then. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But Patrick, we got to do our other segments. Would you like to stick around for Twilight Zone and Jerry, or do you want to bounce out? I know you did another show tonight.
Yeah, we just talked to. Yeah, we talked to Paul Shadow from the Omnicon Killer, but I'll stick around for the Twilight Zone.
Okay, cool. Let's do Jerry's.
You can have my spot.
Just do Jerry's spot.
Shut up, Kyle. Shut up, Kyle.
That every week. Shut up, Kyle.
Shut up, Kyle. So this is
God,
my favorite segments of the week, and it actually is a kind of a big segment this week. Because there was a major death today, like. Not necessarily somebody that everybody knows, but if you watch old movies, Jerry, what's the movie so I can quickly talk about what happened today?
Tonight's movie is Assault on Precinct 13.
John Carpenter's Assault on Precinct 13. Don't accept substitutes and the remake is okay, but not great. But yeah, Assault on Precinct 13, one of John Carpenter's first movies. A gang swore a blood oath to destroy Precinct 13, every cop in it. Also, just so we're clear, it is very much a Howard Hawks remake. It is a very good cop movie. Also has some of the most violent scenes you'll ever see in a 70s film, including this one right here. That's the beginning of it. If you cringe at kids getting shot, you probably shouldn't watch it. But it deals with it's a 70s movie, so it's gritty. It's one of John Carpenter's first movies, so it's super cool. He remakes it every once in a while also as other movies. Like, for example, Jerry, and I know you know this, Assault on Precinct 13 is also Ghosts of Mars. Right? It's the same goddamn movie.
Right.
And it's also, Rio Bravo.
Ghosts of Mars had a good soundtrack, too, with Anthrax.
Fantastic soundtrack. Bad movie, but fantastic.
Good soundtrack though.
But you know, when he makes this movie, he's a huge fan of Howard Hawks. Howard Hawks did one movie 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
He did Rio Lobo, El Dorado, and shit. Can't think of the fucking movie.
That's the name of it.
Rio. Oh, fuck. This is terrible. I hate getting old. But it's 3 movies. It's John Wayne in all 3 movies. So it's Rio Bravo, Rio El Dorado, and Rio
Bravo, Rio Lobo, and
Rio Bravo. Those are the 3. Essentially the same movie as Assault on Precinct 13. But this is the person we want to look at. This guy here, leading people out, and his name is Charles Cypher. And you would know he passed away today. He was 85 years old. He was places you might know him if you're our generation, Jerry.
Hill Street Blues.
Hill Street Blues. He was also he was Chief Brackett in the Halloween movies, and he appeared even recently in Halloween, the Halloween reboot that happened. But he was also in Halloween 1, Halloween 2. His hairstyle changed dramatically in one night, from Halloween to Halloween 2, even the same day. But his daughter is one of the people that's murdered. He also, if you are a fan of Major League, but he's in Major League. He is Charlie, the guy. He has the best line in the fucking movie. One of my favorite lines in the fucking movie, which is, "This guy here is dead." And the owner of the team is like, "Well, scratch him off." You know, he's the GM, and he also has the sequence at the end when they win the championship, where he's just standing up and he's saying all kinds of mean things to the owner of the team. But he was a great character actor. He was in a lot of movies. He did a lot of work. He was, you know, at conventions. You know, he was 85 years old, and John Carpenter said some nice things about him today. That he was, Charles Cyphers passed away. He was an early and frequent collaborator with me on my early movies. A kind man. He was a friend. I shall miss him. But you know, so he was in Roots, one of the landmark miniseries from the 70s. He starred in movies such as Cool Breeze, Coming Home, The Onion Field. He was on $6 Million Man, Charlie's Angels, Wonder Woman. He was a fixture actor, and he was an actor that you may not have noticed. But if you're a fan of movies and horror movies and things, we noticed. And this movie is great. It's a lot of action, gritty, 70s action.
Tubi.
It's available on Tubi. Excellent. And now my favorite part of the week, as Kyle just puts on his fucking little talking face or whatever.
Shut up, Kyle.
Shut up, Kyle. Twilight Zone Redux. Twilight Zone Redux, kids and kidettes. Tonight we are talking about the 23rd episode of the Twilight Zone. It aired on March 11th, 1960. It is an episode called A World of Difference. We talk about this all the time with Twilight Zones, right? We talk about, this is one of the key things for me. When that name appears on my screen, Jerry, I am super excited. He's one of the great sci-fi directors. This is an interesting episode, right? So opening narration. You're looking at a tableau of reality, things of substance, of physical material, a desk, a window, a light. These things exist and have dimension. Now this is Arthur Curtis, age 36, who's also real. He has flesh and blood, muscle and mind, but in just a moment we will see how a line separates that which we assume to be real with that manufactured inside of a mind. Now the interesting thing here, as we're talking Deadpool, we're talking multiverses, we're talking what's real, breaking the fourth wall. I think it's hilarious that we're talking about this when this episode comes up. This here is Arthur Curtis. Episode opens with him just going to his office. Arthur Curtis is played by Howard Duff. may recognize him from some things.
Howard the Duck?
No, not Howard. Shut up, Kyle.
I knew he was going to say it.
Shut up, Kyle. Howard Duff plays a character named Arthur Curtis, who's basically a businessman in his 30s. He has a wife. He has a kid. He comes into his office, does whatever. When he goes into his office, he tries to use the phone to call his wife, and he turns, and then there's a set of people looking at him with a director and a screenwriter and all kinds of people, and you're kind of left like, what the hell is going on?
Then my favorite part of the whole thing happens when he says, "Come on, Jerry."
Come on, Jerry. But this episode is really interesting. It never really answers what's going on. Like it appears to be an actor having a mental break.
Yeah, you try to figure it out for 20 minutes.
Figure it out. He appears to be an actor having a mental break, or he could be a character that has broken through on it never really explains it.
Basically, the crew is there, and he doesn't understand why they're there. He's like, why are all these people looking at me? I'm trying to call my wife.
Yeah, and the phone.
He's assumed the role of the character.
The character from the script,
you know.
And it just like
it's interesting.
It's a real interesting episode. He slowly breaks. His ex-wife shows up, and basically his agent shows up. All his handlers show up. He's an actor that apparently has had a drinking problem. He's getting a divorce from his wife. He's trying to get out of paying her. There are all these side things that could make a person crack, right? So you never really get an idea, and the episode doesn't really answer it, whether he's a drunk that is cracked or whether or not he is the character that has jumped off of the screen into the whatever. And I think that's how the end of the episode is. He eventually gets back to the set as they're tearing it apart because the movie has been canceled. He's been fired. His wife has come and trying to take his money. And his agent, by the way, I love this. Tell me if you recognize this person, kids. If you grew up with a grandma who watched comedy shows, but if you recognize this person, that's his agent Brinkley, and he's played by David White, who was always on Bewitched. So now we're starting to get people show up that are like famous people. Richard Matheson directed this episode, but objects that make what we are. It delves into that question: reality. What is reality? What is not? And the movie that I thought about coming out of this, Jerry, I could not get out of my mind that somewhere Peter Weir sat down, saw this episode of The Twilight Zone, and that is how we got the Truman Show. It feel like one of those episodes, closing narration, it goes something like this. The modus operandi for the part, the end of the episode, just so we're clear, I'm sorry. The end of the episode is, in the script, he is getting a ticket from his secretary to go on vacation with his wife. So his wife shows up in the script. That's an actress, but apparently it's his real wife, it's his real secretary. When he goes back from the fourth wall, he gets the thing and he takes off, and the plane takes off on the screen and disappears. And then the closing narration from Rod Serling is, the modus operandi for the departure from life is usually a pine box of such and such dimensions, and this is the ultimate in reality. But there are other ways for a man to exit from life. Take the case of Arthur Curtis, age 36. His departure was along a highway with an exit sign that reads, "This way to escape." Arthur Curtis en route to the Twilight Zone. It's a really good episode. It's a bang up episode. It is one of the few first season episodes, Sherry, that the ending is not, it's not in stone.
Right.
Right. We don't know. We never.
It's almost like if he doesn't get out of there, he's going to get consumed and get stuck. Right.
Right. Well,
so he's
it's
trying to
never
run
really,
out of there at the end.
it's
So
never,
they won't
it's
pack
never,
him up too.
it's not right. It's never delineated whether it's the actor having a breakdown or the character coming to life, right? Or like something out of a book. So in that case, it almost has like a Purple Rose of Cairo feel too, right? So and it never answers the question, which I think is again really interesting writing, and the writing on the Twilight Zone is so amazing. I don't know. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it's cool to take
next week
these stories and then you can apply them to movies we grew up watching.
yes,
It's like, oh,
and you just
I know where they got that from, and this.
Well, and that's the thing. Like the interesting thing about watching the show and watching it with you, not Kyle. Watching it with you, not shut up, Kyle. And maybe watching with some of the folks who watch our show, is that derivative stuff. Like I was looking at something last night. We did Night of the Comet last night on Generation Movie, right? And I was looking at Rotten Tomatoes just to get I always do that as a gauge, right? Do you realize the Rotten Tomatoes audience score for Night of the Comet is 58%? And I was like, that's fucking bullshit, right? That's crazy. The critics' reviews on it are 79%. And so I was trying to formulate in my head last night, and it kind of came up with this, and it kind of comes up with different things we talked about. What's the beginning of the basis of reality of things that we see? If you come to them later, the thing you're watching that was first is derivative. But in reality, everything that comes after is derivative, right? So, like, for example, Night of the Comet, if you're a person that goes into Night of the Comet not knowing what it is, or the Twilight Zone, or anything that's older, and you go in and it gets a 58% audience score, right? Because they look at it and they go, oh my God, this movie rips off Buffy, this movie rips off this movie, it's a bad zombie movie. It's not as good as 28 Days Later, right? Or any number of things. But in reality, 28 Days Later doesn't exist without Night of the Comet, right?
Nope.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's a chicken or egg thing. And it's also something that came in, I had a problem with when John Carter of Mars came out, which I think is a good movie. I think I will go to my deathbed thinking it was a good movie. But everything I heard coming out of it, when people were coming out of it, it's like, oh, it's a ripoff of Star Wars. It's a ripoff of Avatar. It's a ripoff of this, and this. Like, no, idiots. Arthur Conan Doyle wrote this. Yeah, Arthur Conan Doyle wrote these books in 1900. You know what I mean? Like, he wrote them in, like, the 1920s, right? So it was never a John Carter of Mars movie, but that doesn't mean it's derivative. It means everything else that came after it. So I think that's a real interesting thing that we have to look at, and that's why this is an important part of the show for me, because I really believe Peter Weir.
There are a couple episodes coming up that are going to be, we're going to be talking about them. I'll just say that.
In a good way or a bad way?
In a good way, because they're going to relate to things that are, they're going to relate to things that are now.
Yeah, you're a cheater, Jerry.
In movies, sorry.
Which can be pumped.
Recent movie in particular.
A recent movie in particular. Interesting. Well, next week's episode is Long Live Walter Jameson, which I'm super excited because it has one of my favorite actors, Kevin McCarthy, in it, of course, of the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Also, as we progress to the 80s, he was in a bunch of cool movies with Joe Dante, including a movie I watched last week called, I rewatched again, because it was $5. $5 on streaming. I bought Inner Space.
Oh, great movie.
Oh my God, it's such a good fucking movie. Which, of course, is again, derivative of Fantastic Voyage, but I don't give a fuck because it's fun. Sorry, I'm cursing a lot tonight. I don't know why. Anyway, but Twilight Zone is, Long Live Walter Jameson has Kevin McCarthy in it. Kevin McCarthy is one of my all-time favorite. Are you yawning?
What? Oh, sorry. Woke me up. What?
Shut up, Kyle. Who plays Guardian or Vindicator? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Patrick, before we wrap up tonight, tell everybody where they can find you and your show and where they can find me on August 14th.
JW was going to be with us on the 14th of August at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and we're going to have fun. We're going to go ahead and chop it up on 8 Questions With that we run.
I'm nervous. I haven't had 8 questions asked me since I was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So.
Oh, trust me. We'll be talking.
Yeah, but you can't phone a friend on this one.
There'll be a lot more than 8 questions.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about.
I only answered 11. I only got through 11 on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So.
Well, we plan on asking you. Were you on the show for real?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
Oh yeah.
I
wasn't on Regis. I was on with Meredith Vieira. She was very nice.
I'm sure she was.
Cool. She was super cool. Like way cooler than anybody can imagine how cool she was. But it was a daytime show.
I think I would rather answer my questions from Meredith than Regis.
Yeah, Meredith was great. She was very funny.
We'll have to ask it. We'll talk about your experience on the 14th. But my channel is Have Cheetah Will View, and I do my show 3 nights a week: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Unless there's a reason to do other dates, like I'm doing a matinee show on the 10th and the 17th, and
Don't tell Joe Ridgely, because Joe will have us working overtime too. Jesus, you got a work ethic, Patrick.
Oh yeah, well we got two. We got
barely gets to show up on Tuesdays.
We got two shows coming up. We're talking about indie western.
A full-time job keeping Jerry alive.
What?
That's a full-time job.
Jerry's had more accidents this summer than any other person we know.
Yeah, I've been prone this year. That's all.
He got hit in the head last week, and then this week you got poison ivy, Patrick.
Ooh.
So I'm going to try to get him on your show, but I can't promise he'll be alive through the summer.
Well,
it might be like Futurama, where it's just a head in a jar.
What'd you say, Patrick?
I said you guys have some really fun co-hosts. You had Terry Jarrow on as a co-host, and you had Jamie Hill's been on as a co-host.
Jamie Hill. They do a show called The Sticky Microphone with Wendy Zier and Jamie Hill, and Joe sometimes as on that show as producer, but he's lurking in the background like he is tonight, somewhere watching us, making sure we have the things going. And
yeah, he stopped by.
If you start telling him you're doing 3 shows a week and matinees, we're going to be in trouble. So Have Cheetah Will View. Can we find that on YouTube and all the major?
YouTube. You can find me on YouTube, and you can also find me on Instagram underneath the same. Have Cheetah Will View. And
thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming on tonight. I encourage everybody. Patrick, we're having such a good time with Patrick, even though he's a Devils fan. Which I won't. I mean, we can't talk when the hockey season starts. But anyway, but thank you for coming tonight. We appreciate you. Hold on.
You.
Wait, I'm joining you guys on Loud and Nerdy next Tuesday.
Who is?
I guess Joe is.
I set the logo and ticker, by the way. Laugh out loud. Yeah, we know. I said it looks great. What do you want from me? I said it looks fantastic.
There you go, Cheetah.
He's always hiding.
That's what it's all about.
You got a glare on there.
Matt Zuccarello.
Yeah.
Matt Zuccarello.
Little Zuccarello.
Okay. Okay.
Are you Joe? Are you joining us next Tuesday? Is Joe coming on? Oh, what is that? Is that you met? Oh, we didn't even talk about this before we go. You met Doug Bradley this week. Where did you go, my friend?
It was at Monster Mania in Cherry Hill.
Mania. Your daughter is collecting the most signatures.
Check this crap out.
Look at that.
So it's a good guy doll, right?
And she's gotten every signature.
The doll is not in the box, Jerry. The doll is not in the box.
I just want to know. I have one question to ask before I go. What Corey Feldman song did you learn, Jerry?
There you go.
It's called The Joke. It's a new one. It's from this year. It's ridiculous.
It's something to do with careers and I don't know.
The Feld.
You could have said
no.
You could have said no. Okay, so Have Cheetah Will View, YouTube, Instagram. Thank you for coming out tonight. I look forward to the 14th, where you apparently will be grilling me. It'll be like I'll have to take an oath apparently beforehand on like a stack of comic books or movies.
That's right.
But thank you for coming tonight.
We will be rehashing our Doctor Doom discussion. I'm sure of.
I am sure of it. I am sure. I'm going to try to win you over. I'm going to try to win you over, Patrick. Thank you for joining us tonight. Have a great night. It's good to see you.
Great night, guys.
Take care, buddy.
Good night.
He's a lot of fun.
I believe that's also the. Okay.
Go ahead. What's wrong?
Nothing at all. We're good.
What? So wait, is Joe coming on next week? I if you want to come on, you can come on anytime you want.
Exactly.
I don't mind you at all. I mean, you get a little crazy with the controls. Oh, by the way, this is something that could be off air, but we're going to make it fun. Kyle, I don't know if you realize when people send you emails, you can do things. Do you know that you can do things now?
I do. I just haven't had time to really go in and explore.
I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about since I've made you a co-host that you can do things on the show. I'm going to put you in charge of goddamn comments. I think it's perfect because you're always fast on the comment draw. Right?
That is true.
That is true. Fair.
Fast on the draw, like a horse named McGraw.
He's all over the comments.
He's all over the comments. Jerry, where can people find you, or where can people find Slapjaw, or where can people find the goddamn Corey Feldman song, Jerry?
I put it on my Facebook, and it's on TikTok under Slapjaw 1998, and that's where you can find Slapjaw stuff too. I have my own TikTok.
Next time you do a big.
Now China knows about Corey Feldman.
Maybe now China knows about Corey Feldman. What will happen? They might dream a little dream. Oh no.
Goonies is getting a resurgence in China for some reason.
License to Drive, by the way.
License to Drive is a great movie.
License to Drive is the unheralded Corey movie. That's the best of the Corey movies.
That movie's amazing.
It has Heather Graham. It has the single hottest. The dad is fantastic. The dad is great. Especially when he gives him the car. And
you can but begin to imagine.
Okay, wait. Okay, so it's a false alarm. I was just kidding. I'm not a control freak. I just like the order.
The first order? Order 66.
Just so we're clear. I was kidding. I'm not a control freak. Oh, we just lost Kyle. I didn't knock him out. I didn't
press any buttons.
No, you didn't press any buttons. I just like the order. Oh, there he is. He's back. Hold on. You're back. Go back to your corner. Get up there.
Order 66.
I do like this sentence, and this is kind of Joe in a nutshell. I love Joe, and if Joe ever wants to be on the show, he can. I was kidding. I'm not a control freak. I just like order, which is what a control freak is.
It's like my wife. I don't speed. I just like to get where I'm going.
I just like to go fast. Yeah, I'm a good driver. You hit the fence. Great. Okay. Kyle, what about you? Got anything going on? What's your pop of the week? Was your pop of the week like this? Was it one to the sky?
No, I don't got many WWE ones actually. But I got he's gonna say it. He's gonna say it. Flame on.
Human Torch.
Human Torch.
Damn straight. He's gonna
say
it. He's gonna say it. He's gonna say it.
Parts of the movie.
He even tells Wolverine to shut up. Shut up. He's gonna say it. Okay. People
he gives him a hug.
He gives him a hug.
Get close. Okay, Cap.
Okay, Cap.
Okay.
Flame on.
Organized order.
It's organized chaos. Yeah, I'm not a control freak. I like order.
Okay, piss off.
I feel like that's the first thing you say to your psychiatrist when you are. Oh wait, there's more. Hold on. Okay, piss off. Organized order. Laugh out loud.
Oh, here to get for Sir Scrooge.
Organized order is even worse. Organized order is organized order is literally what you say to your psychiatrist when you sit down for the first time. I'm not a control freak.
I believe they called that the Republic.
I just like
yes, sir.
I just like organized order. I'm kidding. I love Joe so much. Joe's one of my favorite people in the entire world.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, okay. People can find me, JW the Movie Guy, on Facebook, on Twitter, or X, or whatever the fuck Whack Job is calling it this week. On Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. We're also
those
on
are the words I've been waiting to hear for so long.
What words?
The last comment.
Okay.
Amazing.
Last comment. You're fired.
Yes.
Look, I'm just saying, as somebody who lives in Florida, I don't know that you want to just go throwing around other people's catchphrases. Got to be careful. He might sue you, Joe. He's crazy right now.
He really stole it from Vince, though.
I think he did steal from Vince, but nobody remembers that. No, and also as we're going through this life, I don't know if you're paying attention, but facts just randomly change. So he might have stolen it from Vince, but nobody gives a fuck, and nobody's going to call him on it. So who cares? You find me, JW the Movie Guy, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, whatever that crazy person's calling it this week, the X or Twitter. Or, we don't.
Use your hair in a hair versus hair match if you don't have any.
Thank you for joining us. Also, as we prepare for next week on Generation Movie, Monday night, August 12th, The Last Starfighter.
Great movie.
Where we didn't realize it, but we scheduled Night of the Comet and Last Starfighter. So it's Catherine Mary Stewart Appreciation Fest on Generation Movie. But The Last Starfighter, if you guys haven't seen it, I can't recommend it enough. Join us on Monday. We're going to do a deep dive. It's one of the great unheralded sci-fi movies, and a sci-fi movie that I'm telling you right now, if they decided to make a series, or if they decided to make a sequel, or if they decided to do something, people would remember it, and it would be back, and it would be huge again. But thank you for joining us. I'll see everybody next Monday, and of course, we'll see everybody next Tuesday night for Loud and Nerdy. If it's Tuesday, you want to make it loud and nerdy, come and see us. Last comment of the night, Ken McKernan, Ewan McGregor has been cast as the new Cyclops in Marvel's upcoming X-Men. Are you telling the truth? Is that real? When did that happen?
There are no eyes to see behind these glasses.
Ewan McGregor skews old for me. I don't know. Interesting, Ken. So, laughing my ass off. Joe's on fire tonight. Okay, thanks for joining us. We'll see everybody next week for Loud and Nerdy. We'll see everybody next week for Generation Movie Last Starfighter Monday night. Have a great night. And again, thank you to Have Cheetah Will View. We appreciate you coming on. Thank you, Patrick.
May you dream.